Welcome to SAT Prep. Topic is one variable linear equations, difficulty level easy. If a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 5, what is the value of ab plus 2? This is a simple case. All we have to do here is just plug in whatever a is and what b is. Think of these as placeholders, right? ab plus 2. We have a placeholder for a multiplied by some other placeholder and then add 2 to that. And the placeholders hold the values 3 times 5. So 3 times 5, 15, plus 2 is 17. Okay, if x is equal to negative 2 and y is equal to 4, what is the value of x squared plus y? Well, x squared plus y, again, think of x and y being placeholders for these actual numbers. So we just plug in negative 2 for x. Please remember that it's important to add all these numbers in brackets. They will save you from making small mistakes in other more complicated problems. Negative 2 squared is 4, and then plus 4 is equal to 8. Now, I want to make note about negative 2 squared. You might be tempted to say that this is equal to negative 4. It is not, okay? This is wrong. Do not do this, okay? So the reason this is wrong is because we have this equal sign here. Sorry, we have these brackets here. That's why this is wrong. Negative 2 squared suggests that we have negative 2 in brackets times negative 2. Think of this as a basket, and inside this basket, it's holding the number negative 2. So when you square it, you can't just take out the negative 2 out of the basket, right, to say negative 2 times 2, which is equal to negative 4. You're multiplying the whole basket by itself again. That's what it means to be, to have a power, right? So a cubed is a times a times a. A squared is equal to a times a. So we have these two cases here. Negative a squared, so a being some sort of random number, is negative a times negative a. And two negatives being multiplied make a positive, so a squared. And then if we didn't have these brackets and we simply had negative a squared, like that, all we're squaring, this power of 2, does not also apply to the negative. It only applies to the a here. That's the difference. So this is a times a. And then the minus just being in front, and we're not touching it because nothing is being applied to it. So then we get negative a squared. With a concrete example, as I showed you, the negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2. Two negatives make a positive, so 2 times 2 is 4. Versus negative 2 squared, that's, leave the negative, we're not touching it, 2 times 2, negative 4. What value of x solves the equation 2x minus 5 is equal to 11? Okay, so this is a two-step variable solution here, okay? And typically when we have problems like this and they're telling us to isolate for x, right? That's what they're going to say, or solve for x. The goal is to get x on its own. X is equal to all these other numbers, and somehow these numbers will end up here. 11, 5, 2, whatever. They'll somehow end up here. You could think about this as like x trying to isolate for corona during COVID time, right? X wants to be on its own. So we want to kick out all the guests. 2 and the 5, 11 is already outside the door. X wants to be on its own. So how do we do that? Well, the rule of thumb is to actually do BEDMAS in reverse, or some people see this as PEMDAS. These mean the same thing. The difference is B is brackets and P is parentheses. That's it, but they mean the exact same thing. Okay, so let's stick with PEMDAS. We're gonna do this in reverse. So we say 2x minus 5 is equal to 11. We notice all the operations. We have 2 times x, and then we have minus 5. Which one do we do first? Well, this tells us subtraction and addition goes first. Okay, cool. Negative 5. We need to kick out this minus 5. How do we do that? Well, we do the opposite operation of that. If it's negative, then we're going to add it. We're going to add 5 because on both sides, because what we do to one side, we do to the other. So minus 5 plus 5 is 0. 2x is equal to 11 plus 5. 2x is equal to 16. Now, the next step, division and multiplication. How do we get rid of this 2 here? Well, because 2 is being multiplied, we do the opposite operation. So we divide by 2. X is equal to 8.